Hello, my name is Gabe, and welcome to MCC Live to You, cultural programming at your fingertips. Today I'll be talking briefly about the cello, which is the instrument that I just happen to play, and then I'll play for you guys a little bit, and we'll call it a day. So I'm going to briefly just touch upon a few characteristics, a few things that you can do to those notes to really make it your own. The cello allows a lot of freedom between notes. If you'll notice, there's a fingerboard and there's no frets like you would see on a guitar, like you would see on a bass, or even a piano will have just one key to play the same note. And that in itself is flawed. If you have a trained ear, you can hear like it's perpetually out of tune just by a little bit, because all notes are relative and in Western music, we love to organize everything and put it mathematically, but music doesn't really work like that. Sound waves don't really work like that. And a brief example, a note I'll play one way and I'll play it another way. If you're playing an F sharp in D major, which is mi, so that's do, re, mi, will sound different than if you play it on T, which is in G major, because you want to lead again to the main note. So that's two different. And I'm exaggerating a little bit, but that's just an example of how little minute differences can really shape something. Next thing I'll talk about is color. Color is really important, just of how something is played, where on the cello it's played, whether I bow here, or whether I play on one string versus another. I'm gonna play a little excerpt. It's from Saint-Saëns' first cello concerto, and just to illustrate that point, if I play something like versus one is a little bit brighter. The first one is a little bit brighter, and that's just something on a different string. Next thing I'll talk about is volume, which is not so much how loud you play, but the contrast in sound. It's we call it dynamics in music, but going from loud to soft. The next thing is envelope, which is another aspect of sound, which has to do with attack and sustain. And that's just like playing something short, playing something long, playing something. If I'm gonna play or these are different ways of playing the same note that have to do with the articulation. Next thing I'll talk about, when you're talking about groups of notes, that's just simple sound. When you're talking about groups of notes, then comes in what we call phrasing, which has to do with direction of a piece of music. If you're going up in range in notes, maybe you'll want to play a little bit louder as you get higher. Maybe you'll want to do it differently. Where are the notes leading you to? And that's really, really, I think, one of the most important things. And then the last thing is speed. Again, you can play, how fast or how slow you play something has a huge role in how you perceive that. But more importantly, the difference taking time. If you're a soloist, you have the freedom to extend something, make it take a little bit longer in order for you to get your point across. So I'm going to play that little piece and just pay attention to these aspects that I talk about and see how I, shape this piece of music. the next piece I'm going to play is just expressive in itself. All cello fans love Bach. So basically I'm going to just play a little bit of the Allemande from the third cello suite. It's one of my favorites.